Good morning, students. Today our topic is working towards change. We all know that in the late 18th century it was called the age of innovations, because that time many things was innovated that was resulted in industrialization and other humanitarian works in the field of literature. So there was a vast change in the thinking process of people, and some reformations took place at that time. The early 19th century, so we can find that debates and discussions about social customs and practices were taking place in many public places also. It was the age for communication. Now the printing presses has been set up in many places. That's why books, newspapers, magazines, leaflets, pamphlets were printed, and those were cheap and easy to get. That's why people started learning, and they took interest in learning many types of things. That's why there was discussions and debates amongst people, and many societies were formed that time. Organizations were formed, and emerge of that middle class society was the main social change at that time, who are very much interested in education, because from that time education became the weapon for getting richer. That time industrialization also flourished, and people came into cities for working in the industries. So there was a radical change in the society. People began to read the ethical books, the religious textbooks, and that time also the books like which were written in Sanskrit, they were translated in Bengali and English, and people began to learn those books. The educated peoples who were great thinkers and humanitarians, they wanted to make progress of the human being. That's why they wanted that people should be literate that time, because some people of some particular people were mesmerizing common people by telling that in the religious books that is written, but they were completely differing from the things which were written originally in the book. So when people started reading those books, so they could understand that they are ethically doing different thing whatever is written in the book. So now they no more wanted to be befooled by the persons who were religiously orthodox people. All kind of issues like social, political, economical and religious could then be debated and discussed by men, and sometimes by women also as well, in the new cities. The discussions could reach out a wider public and could become linked to movements also for social change. That time there was a great need of social reformation to upgrade Hinduism also. These debates were often initiated by the Indian reformers and reform groups. One of such reformers was Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He was called the man of the pioneer of Renaissance in India. He founded a reform association that was known as Brahmo Sabha. Later it was known as Brahmo Samaj. He established it in Calcutta. People such as Raja Ram Mohan Rai described as reformers because they felt that changes were necessary in society and unjust practices needed to be done away with. They thought that the best way to ensure such changes was by persuading people to give up old practices and adopt a new way of life. So Raman Roy was keen to spread the knowledge of Western education in our country and bring about the greater freedom and equality for women also. He wrote about the way women were forced to bear the burden of domestic work. They are confined to the home and the kitchen, and they are not allowed to move out and become educated. They are not allowed to do anything extra, that is not household work. They are being deprived of the civilization also. He wanted to change the lives of the women that time. Raja Ram Mohan Roy saw that there was a old bad practice that was called sati that time. In sati practice, when a man dies, his youngest or eldest wife was compelled to be set on fire along with the dead corpse of her husband. So, to burn a alive woman was the norm of society, but it cannot be a norm according to the religious books. That time, man of many religions was able to marry many wives, able to get many wives. It was a social norms. But after the death of that person, the lives of those widows were intolerable. They were day by day living like the dead bodies. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was particularly to change the problems those the widows faced in their lives. He began a campaign against the practice of sati. Raman Roy was well versed in Sanskrit, Persian, and several other Indian and European languages. He was a person truly can be called linguist. He tried to show through his writings that the practice of widow burning had no sanction in ancient texts. But by the early 19th century, many people opposed him. Raja Ram Mohan Roy published many pamphlets to spread his ideas. Some of these were written as a dialogue between the advocate and critic of the traditional practice of sati. Here you can see that dialogue. That advocation of sati, people telling that women are by nature of inferior understanding, without resolution, unworthy of trust. Many of them on the death of their husbands become desirous of accompanying them, but to remove every chance of their trying to escape from the blazing fire in burning them, we first tie them to down the pile. Who were opponent of sati system, they are telling that when did you ever afford them a fair opportunity of exhibiting their natural capacity? How then can you accuse them of being want of understanding? If after instruction in knowledge and wisdom a person cannot comprehend or retain what has been taught him, we may consider him as deficient. But if you do not educate women, how can you see them as inferior? How can you tell them that they are stupid? So, there are people who are against the norms and who were for the norms. But Ramon Roy could fight, and he had that knowledge and that strong determination to fight against the bad norm and completely abolish it that time. The Britishers, being completely foreigners in our country, they that time started to criticize the Indian norms. So they pay heed to Raja Ram Mohan Roy. As Raja Ram Mohan Roy was a very learned person that time, with the help of his friend Lord Bentinck, he was able to ban Sati Pratha in 1829. After that, the strategy adopted by Raja Ram Mohan was used by many reformers later. Whenever they wished to challenge a practice they seemed harmful, they tried to find a verse or sentence in the ancient sacred texts that supported their point of view. They then suggested that the practice as it is existed at present was against early tradition.